everybody. Welcome to the third installment of Mr. Blak's True Hollywood Tales. If this is your first time watching this, basically this is a series I'm doing about my time living in Los Angeles, California, which I've lived out there between 1991 up to 2015, with a couple periods on and off towards the end there. I'm going to pick up where I left off, actually. From the first episode, I had mentioned I had just gotten to Hollywood. You know, this is like in 1991. I'm 18 years old, walking around. It's like I said, it's February 1991. Didn't have any place to go. Then I ran into these people giving out food to the homeless, and they were called. So this is an organization called Covenant House, and I got some food from them, and they mentioned, hey, you know what? We're a youth shelter. You know, if you need a place to stay, we can take you over there right now. You know, so there was a bunch of other people going, so I figured, why the fuck not? You know. First night in Hollywood, and I didn't have to sleep on the streets. Sure, why not? So, got in the van. The place originally, they've moved it since then. I mean, it's down further Western Avenue, down, I believe, by Santa Monica Boulevard, I believe, or maybe it's closer to Melrose. But originally it used to be on Sunset. Near Western. It was like Sunset and Serrano, actually. Ooh, I still remember the street all these years later. There's like a Food for Less nearby there. I mean, if you're familiar with the area, you know where I'm talking about. Even if you've never knew of Covenant House, you'll know that area. Sorry. So anyway, we went there. Just apparently, like back in the day, it's like this was like a big like office type house or whatever, and it was made into a shelter. Originally, apparently back in the day, I guess in the 80s or whatever, it used to be like a BDSM club, or maybe there was one next door to it. I don't remember the details very much. It's been a long time. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've been to Covenant House, if you know the deal is with that, leave some comments below. Let me know, because I forgot and I'd like to know. But anyway, so we're there. The actual place itself, like, they had a few rooms there and they were full. They didn't have enough beds there. So what they did, they had some sort of deal worked out with a hotel down the street, for a little bit further down Sunset, going towards Normandy. And basically, well, sorry, motel, not hotel. So basically, we go there. They'd have like maybe like 3 people per room, and they'd have a security guard walking by, checking up on everybody. You know, and it was all right. You know, you stay in a hotel room. You know, you had a shower there. You know, you had a bathroom and everything. No room service, no, and you know, and we weren't really able to use the TVs. It was basically, we would go there just to sleep, because we went there, it was pretty much a lights out. Wake up in the morning, get up, head over for breakfast, blah 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 blah, that sort of thing. So stayed there for about a month, I believe. I was trying to find work and everything. Usually, like I said, every morning we go back and forth. Like, get up, go over to the actual Covenant House facility for breakfast. They have their morning meetings in the back. They had this little back recreation area. They have breakfast, and then you'd leave, go do what you had to do. You could come back for lunch. They had this thing, they'd make you sandwiches and everything. with a bag of chips, whatever, and they give it to you. For a while, I still remember this. This kind of pissed me off. I mean, one of the bad things about it. They give you sandwiches. I understand a lot of the food was donated and everything, but sometimes they would give you sandwiches with like moldy bread, or the meat was a little old. We mentioned it to one of the guys working there. He looked like this guy was an asshole. He looked like one of those asshole wrestling fans of the late 80s, early 90s. He had the fucking shitty mullet, really super short and spiky in the front, long and stringy in the back with a bald patch somewhere. One of those guys. And, we mentioned to him, he's like, that's just penicillin, it's good for you. What kind of motherfucker gives somebody something moldy food and tells them, oh, it's good for you, it's got penicillin in it? What kind of bullshit is that, Fuck that guy. I wonder what he's doing now. He's still a fucking asshole. He probably is. He probably has that same greasy ass mullet, except it's gray now. And he's probably got a bigger bald spot. Who knows? Anyway, so, we go there for dinners and stuff. They'd have like a resource center where you could like try to find you jobs or places to stay. They had like, not really, I don't want to say a therapist per se, but they had like a counselor, and she would like sit everybody down and talk to them, like everybody would talk about things, because a lot of people the kids that were there were runaways, or a lot of them just barely turned 18, and they didn't have their shit together, like somebody else who traveled across country to live in Los Angeles who didn't have their shit together. But she was pretty nice. And ironically enough, because she used to show us the stories about it and everything, she had a nephew. Her nephew being the guy I can't remember the fucking name of now all of a sudden. He's been in a few movies, not so great movies. I think he still does a lot of coke now. What the fuck is his name? Okay, anyway, it was the kid from Terminator 2. Judgment Day, the main kid. That was her nephew. And there was like some, it's around about the time of the making the movie and everything, there was like a big fucking stink. I guess his parents were like ripping him off or something. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with that, and there was even a newspaper article with a picture of her with him, so she was genuinely his aunt, because a lot of people in Hollywood, and a lot of people still in Hollywood, they like to bullshit about things, to make themselves seem more than what they are, which that's more stories I'll tell you later. But in her case, she was telling the truth, And hopefully sometime during this video I'll remember that name. If I don't mention name in this video, leave the name below. I know his name, but it escapes me right now. He's in Terminator 2. He was in the Night of the Demons remake. He was in a horrible Crow movie. Real bad. Oh, God, I can't remember his fucking name. But you all know who I'm talking about. I know. You all know who he is. But anyway, so yeah, we got some few part-time jobs through there. One cool thing about living in Los Angeles, it's more so back then, I think it's a little less now, you have to be a little bit more connected. You had an easier time getting movie extra gigs in the 1990s. We're sitting there and they're looking for movie extras. They would go here and like maybe some other homeless shelters if they need like a bunch of people, and they would put the word out, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So first movie I got to be an extra on while I was living in a Covenant House and everything was for The Last Boy Scout. That had like Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans, I think that was his name, the bald Wayans brother. Anyway, but yeah. I think Bruce Willis was in it. Was Bruce Willis there? Pretty sure he was. I haven't seen it in years, and I saw it once, and I was actually in it. For those of you who have seen The Last Boy Scout wondering, so where the fuck was I? Don't look too hard, you probably won't see me. There's like a scene where it's in a football stadium, and I'm one of the thousands of people in the football stands. Actually, it was more like hundreds with cardboard cutouts, and they just did the shots differently. It wasn't quite as many as it looked in the movie, obviously, you know. Movie magic. So, did that, and there was another scene where we had to run down to the field, because apparently there was a scene where one of the football players shot himself right on the field. So, like, the scene was like the audience was supposed to be going nuts around the field, going, "Oh shit!" You know, I remember that. That whole thing took probably about 15 hours. I know we went there in the morning and we didn't get out of there till maybe 1, 2 in the morning. Luckily, Covenant House knew what was up, so none of us got kicked out because of that, because they knew we were working. That's always exception, because they have like a curfew that you had to be there by. If you didn't make it by that curfew, well, you're fucked, you're out. But if you actually have a job and you're working, you know, then they make exceptions to the rule, because, you know, obviously you have to if you're working. So after all this time, we're heading back. It's like we got our check like a day or two later. I made like $250 some odd just for that one day of work. So I was like, ooh, I want to do this regularly, you know. I did some stuff you know, here and there. You know, I'll explain that later in other videos. I'm trying to keep the one certain area at a time in these videos, obviously. But while I was there at Covenant House, you know, I met a lot of people. You know, there's a couple people I met back then I still talk to on occasion, too. And then there's a lot of people that I met I wish I'd see again. There's a lot of people I wish I never met. And there's also a lot of people that I met that have been long dead as well. There was this one girl I met there. Oh my god, I had such a huge crush on her. It was beautiful, like, Mexican metal girl. Her name was Silver. You know, that was like her nickname because she always wore lots of like silver jewelry and stuff like that. Heavy eyeliner, you know. She used to hang out with this other really cute little chola girl. You know, her name was Minnie. They were like best friends and everything. And I thought they were both cute. I really had a thing for Silver, and other people did too, because, you know, she was cute as hell, you know. You know, I was trying to impress her one time. I actually made her cry a little bit and it was the first time I did this for anybody. It's like, you know, I was like, okay, you know, and it was actually with that check, by the way, segue right back into that. I bought her like a couple roses, and I just surprised her with it, and I guess she was just shocked, you know, that somebody did that, you know. It didn't work because there was another guy she was more into that she got with, but hey, I mean, the point is, I made somebody happy, you know, I got some points, so hey. That worked, that was cool, you know. But eventually, you hit your time limit there, and then they have to let you go. So, I did get kicked out of there, and so I ended up at another place, I don't know if they still have it, but the Gay and Lesbian Center in Hollywood used to be in a different area of Hollywood. It's moved a couple times since then. And they had a shelter for for LGBTQ, you know, youth and everything. At the time, I mean, I look back about it at it now. I could have had like a lot more fun if I was just a little bit more open with myself. I wasn't out so much back then. Number one, it's the early 90s, and it's easier to get fucked with, you know, by saying that you're queer and everything. And there was people I talked to that I considered friends and everything. Wasn't really in a hurry to let them know that I was queer, even though I have been since like 16, 17 years old. But you know, so out here I was, the Gay and Lesbian Center. It was a mixture of of LGBTQ youth, and there was a few straight people there. It was kind of like Covenant House, same thing, same rules and everything. I was there for like 2 weeks. I probably could have got more out of it at the time, but like I said, I'm like, I'm trying. I was putting up airs, I guess, for the straight friends. The thing is like, oh, you're staying there? Are you a faggot? So yeah, I mean, but it was my time there was cool. I met some cool people there. Once again, there was another girl that I had a crush on. She was really weird. I think that was one of the reasons why I had a crush on her, because she was just so abnormal. She was just like a whole different, I don't know what planet she was on, but she was out there, and I was into it. I'm into that. But after those 2 weeks, I was actually able to get back in the Covenant House for a little while. This time there was room inside the place, so I was staying actually inside the actual Covenant House and not the motel this time. I had little jobs here and there, telemarketing jobs. I had some telemarketing jobs, and telemarketing then, just like now, was still a fucking joke. But it was a bigger joke back then, because you're calling people, you're selling not computer toner, printer toner. It was like the computer toner thing. It didn't come till later, and it was stupid too. But you were selling all this stupid shit. You were selling office supplies and paper, pencils. Basically, if you work in telemarketing, you basically have to be able to sell the devil holy water. I'm not a great salesman. I mean, I try to, as far as like my music goes and everything, and these shows and everything. I try to promote everything, but as far as being an actual salesman, I don't really consider myself. Basically, to work at telemarketing and be good at it, you had to be kind of a con man. And usually, the longest time I always work at whatever telemarketing job it is, the longest time is usually 2 weeks. 2 weeks is as long as I can last. And either I get fired or I say fuck this shit and quit. And sometimes it's not 2 weeks at all. But yeah. So those are most of the jobs I've had. Then time ran out there. I still didn't have an actual regular job. So I got kicked out again. This time, nowhere else to go, because at the time I couldn't get back into the Gay and Lesbian Center. So I had some other friends that were kicked out. Actually, as a matter of fact, it was Silver. So it's like, hey, it's okay. We got a squat. We're saying that. And at the time, I did not know what a squat was. I'm like, a squat? What the fuck is a squat? That's what you do when you're taking a shit, right? So we walk. As a matter of fact, not too far from there. Go to Hollywood, to Sunset and Western. You make a right. Walk up to Hollywood Boulevard, and at the time, if you go to Hollywood and Western nowadays, on one side you will see the Metro Red Line station. There's like some little shops there. Across from that, you will see the Rouse Market, Ross. It's like a little mini mall, like a 2-floor thing. There's all kinds of shops and everything. It's a lot different than what it was when I was there. On the other corner, there's a CVS with an apartment building above it. Across from that now, there is some other shops or something there. But back then, in 1991, that corner where the Metro station, almost a Metro PCS, yes, the phone station, where the Metro Red Line was, that was just an empty fucking lot. That's all that was an empty fucking lot. Across from that, where the CVS and the apartment building is, it used to be like a little Mexican gift shop. You know, they had all kinds of imports and stuff. The typical ones. You see them, they still got them around. Still, I mean, most of those you had to go to the valley and such to find. But this was right here in the corner, and right above it, those apartments used to be a lockout studio, so all these bands used to practice and live there. There was there was probably like famous people that were lived there and everything. They all like slept in the same room, on top of their fucking amps or whatever, I don't know. So yeah, and catty corner to that, there was a all night like hot dog place. It was open all night, where the drug dealers and prostitutes used to hang out all day, all night long. It was like the hangout spot, for crackheads and everything. Because right up the street was a super seedy hotel, which is closed down, by the way. It was a super seedy hotel that, once again, they were in and out of all the time. It was like, a lot of the stuff was like classic like Hollywood street movie shit right there, And where I mentioned where the Ralphs and the little mini mall and everything is at. Back then, it was an old abandoned hotel called the Rector. So it was called the Rector Squad. Next to the old Rector Hotel was an old, burnt out, worn out, fucking old strip mall. So there was like all this areas, all abandoned, it's been abandoned for years. And so all these squatter kids, punks, gang member kids and everything used to live in there. Oh, by the way, back then, I don't know if it's so much now, but back then that was heavy gang territory. That was like, you had 18th Street over there. 18th Street, Cholos. You just didn't fuck with. Everybody was minding their P's and Q's. They're like, no. These motherfuckers will shoot you for just saying the wrong thing. Because they did not take any shit. You also had there were sort of Crips. They referred to themselves as Crips, but from what I understand, other Crip gangs did not recognize them. But, I don't know. Either way, they were there, And so everybody said it. So here I'm walking in this building. It's just like all these people and such a diverse amount of people in this abandoned building that was been run down and empty since the 80s. And it's like an old building with history still just kind of buried in there. And actually, that is going to be for another video. This one I just wanted to talk about what happened when I first got into town and what I was first living at and some of the stuff I did do. If you want to find out what happens next and what's happening with that squad and everything, you're going to have to tune into the next episode. How will you do that? How will you know when there's another episode? Well, I'll tell you what. You hit that subscribe button. Then it has a little bell next to it. You hit that. That's your notification bell to let you know whenever I upload new videos. And I upload videos pretty much on a weekly basis. They're either these videos. Also, I have a show that I'm doing with my spouse called the Mr. Blak and Dr. Bitchcraft Show. We're doing more. I used to post up the live streams from Facebook on here, but I'm not doing those anymore because I want to just mostly post actual shows on here. Instead of just the live stream shows for Facebook, I'm keeping those strictly Facebook now. This is going to be a different thing. I'll be posting those soon, so you'll definitely want to be around for that because we got our first video coming up really soon. I also have another show I do called Ian Blak Reacts, where I do reaction videos. I react to like some weird shit, and I take everybody's suggestions of weird shit to react to. And of course, I have a band called Blak. And I post a lot of music videos and other videos regarding the band up. I just posted a ad recently because we have some new demos up on Bandcamp and everything. So I got that up too. So check that out and check out those fucking demos too. After that, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Share this, you know, if you ever think you'd be interested in, you know, Hollywood memories, Hollywood memoirs, you know, and leave me some comments below. I like some feedback, especially if you lived in old Hollywood in the 90s. Definitely, please leave some comments down below. Let's talk and reminisce about this shit. I might even know you. We might know each other. We might have been in the same fucking squats together. We might have been to Covenant House together. Who knows? Maybe we dated. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.